How did things end up this way? Why? All I wanted was to get back to the way things used to be. For us to be able to smile around each other. It breaks my heart how fucking... This is gonna sound like an insult, but it's not. Just how simple-minded this white-haired girl is. It seems she's never experienced a true, deep connection with anyone before in her life. And so, what little she had with Jacopo, she's now treasuring it because it was a new, fresh experience for her. She enjoyed it. She relished smiling with him, even though he wasn't treating her very well. It's still better than just being locked up with your parents, you know, without any outside stimulation. And that just makes this all the sadder, because she could have it so much better, but she's clinging on to this one instance of, in her mind, transcendent happiness. But she clings on to it because that's the only one she's had. Oh god, it's so upsetting. It had been several days since Jacopo had locked her in the shed, and her day-to-day life was only growing more arduous. She was under constant surveillance. The door was only unlocked to deliver her meals 3 times a day. And despite what an unfortunate situation their employer's wife found herself in, the maids chattered and gossiped and giggled freely. Not even in the shadows, out of her presence, the tactless young maidservants whispered directly to the white-haired girl when they brought her meals. "Look at you, madam, caged away like cattle." I could almost hear the sounds of cracks forming in her heart. I imagined she had gotten to the point where she was having difficulty merely holding herself together. She had done nothing wrong, and yet she was forced to live this life of insults and mockery, of ridicule. The only reason her tenuously held together spirit did not completely shatter was because she still had her one and only ally. The maid Maria volunteered to attend to the white-haired girl. Maria took over the duty of delivering her 3 meals, meaning the other maid stopped coming by. And that relieved the white-haired girl's mental and emotional stress considerably. Maria became her sole conversation partner, her sole companion. She did not leave as soon as meals were finished, instead remaining in the shed with the white-haired girl for some time.
So, madam, how about a funny story? I flubbed up pretty hard the other day. You want to hear about it? So a couple days back, I didn't get enough sleep the previous night, right? I'm helping out in the kitchen, half awake, plating up some food. And when I go to bring it out to the guest, my heart about leaps out of my mouth. Guess why? What I thought was a plate was actually an ashtray. Man, I was sweating like a pig. The guest didn't seem to notice, but the other maids were pale as ghosts the entire time. Just about everyone had themselves a case of the vapors. I got quite the tongue lashing at cleanup. Pretty funny, huh?
Oh, did you? Sounds like it was a pretty bad day.
Yeah. Hey, madam, I know there's not much point in telling you to cheer up right now, but I'm sure he won't keep you locked up forever. He's just a bit crabby for now. It'll be alright. Although, I guess this is a bit drastic for a temper tantrum. I'm sorry, madam. If only I'd pushed him a bit harder. If only I had a little more influence, you might not be in this situation. I thought I could be of some help, but I guess I'm not doing a great job of that.
Of course not, Maria. You absolutely are. Just your being here takes a great weight off my shoulders.
Still, though, I feel so worthless. Because I'm just a maid, I can't set you free.
It's okay. I am used to being imprisoned.
What? What do you mean you're used to it? He never locked your door before.
You're right. I'm not sure why, but I feel as though I have been in a similar predicament before, lacking freedom and contact with others for a long stretch of time.
I'm sure it's simply the exhaustion getting to you, madam. No one should ever be used to living like this.
Yes, I agree. And I pray things go back to the way they were soon.
Has getting mad at him never crossed your mind?
Getting mad?
Yeah, you know, when he yells, you yell back. Let him know he's in the wrong. Never considered doing that? I guess you're not one to get angry, madam. Which would mean you're a better fit for the Holy Mother than me.
Oh no. I do sometimes want to get angry. To tell you the truth, it's almost always going through my mind how if I did raise my voice, perhaps he would listen to what I have to say. But when I'm standing there in front of him and he starts shouting at me, I freeze up and end up not saying a word. I'm just such a pitiful woman. Everything about me. When I need to speak up most to stand up for myself, I cannot.
Don't look so down. It's not a bad thing. It's just got you in a little bit of a pickle right now, but I'll clear everything up with him, you hear me? In my mind, your modesty is a virtue, and the more I think about it, I can't even imagine you screaming. I like you better the way you are, reserved and ladylike. You can leave all the yelling to me. I'll do whatever I can to help you, madam.
Were you able to clear up his confusion about the night when we were dancing?
About that. Sorry, he just wouldn't hear it.
I see.
But I'm not throwing in the towel. I'll keep trying as long as it takes. So...
Say, Maria, could I perhaps ask another favor?
Huh? Yeah, sure, let me have it.
I would like to write him a letter.
A letter? To someone who lives in the same house?
Yes. As things stand, I cannot simply go visit him on a whim. And I feel as though I could calmly express on paper things I am unable to say to him face to face. I suspect I might have more luck that way. I also believe he would be more likely to maintain his composure reading my thoughts in a letter than hearing them from my mouth. With it, I can clear up all the confusion and things can go back to the way they were.
A letter, huh? Interesting.
I'll write the letter which I would like you to deliver to him. May I ask that of you?
Absolutely, not a problem.
Thank you, Maria. You are the only person I can count on, and I mean that.
Man. Oh. This poor woman needs a hug, man. From anyone. Why? How did this happen? Why would she betray me? I wanted to give her a decently happy life. I didn't want to get violent with her. And when I saw her face, when I heard what she had to say, I couldn't restrain myself. I guess what it comes down to is that no matter how you dress it up, I am still a Berzati. There was never any way for this bloodline to give that girl happiness. God damn it. Why am I fretting over this nonsense? And I'm supposed to be the future head.
An illusion. But they're dancing, they really are. And they look like they're having a wonderful time. Are you sure it's an illusion and not something else? To me it does not seem to be. I cannot see it as anything but two tiny people dancing.
That's how it works. Reach out your hand and try to grab them. You won't be able to.
Ah, you're right. That's a shame.
I didn't think you actually would.
But it's the most precious thing. They look as though they're dancing atop my palm.
It's almost frightening how much innocence rests within those hands. It's as if they've been completely cut off from all the world's filth. My hands, however, are soaked in blood. I fear that bringing her into my world may taint her. Am I capable of protecting this woman's purity? And yet, as I watched her so joyously playing, I felt as though I had gotten close to her. I was the one being a child that day.
Jacopo, it's me, Maria. Is it all right if I come in?
Maria. It's fine, come in.
All righty. Color me surprised. I didn't think you'd let me in.
Have I ever denied you access to my room?
No, but you've been looking pretty glum lately.
I've never exactly been a cheery man.
True enough. I know you told me before not to talk about your wife, but I'm gonna stick my nose where it don't belong today. There's been a lot of chatter among the maids lately about you getting rough with her. I mean, you've got the poor thing locked up in a shed outside. You're not leaving the best impression on anyone.
You here to box my ears?
I don't know.
No, that was cheesy.
I don't know, 50-50? The other half is, I'm concerned about you. I know you're not the kind of man to threaten someone without a good reason. You're not.
I thought you were friends with her.
I am. And it hurts seeing her in so much pain.
Then why has that not changed the way you act around me? I would think you'd be scorning me with the rest of the maids.
Oh, I see how it is. You don't trust me. And we've known each other for so long. This isn't a question of whose side I'm on. You're in pain too, I can see that. You've always bottled things up, kept them hidden. You're too proud to rely on others. But you should probably vent to someone before it reaches the point where you no longer can. Say, Jacopo, do you remember the promise we made a while back?
How far back?
Back when you were still shorter than me. You were 14 and I was 12. I had to leave town and you came to see me off. Quite frankly, I didn't think you'd come. I was surprised, even if I didn't show it.
The way these characters are written, like Jacopo's the perfect example. Like, you can understand his perspective, you can sympathize with him, even empathize, but that doesn't make him at all a likable or good person. And when you can write characters like that, who you can so deeply connect with and understand, but also at the same time fucking despise, that's the best kind of character writing. That's what you want for your dramatic, ambiguous stories.
Jacopo? Where's your dad? Or are you here alone? He didn't even tell me. There's no reason you have to leave town. My old man says the Campanellas have more power. I should be the one leaving. It's not that simple. Grown-ups have a lot to consider. So don't give me that look, Jacopo.
We were kids, but we'd both kind of started to catch on to the situation with our families and to the bonds that land held on us. Although we didn't know any of the details at the time. My grandpa owned all the land the city was built on, but he was a very conservative man. He didn't try to spread his influence, instead opting to fortify what he already had. I don't know exactly when it first started, but organizations were used to administrate cities. And when we were kids, my dad was the capo familia, and my grandpa was consigliere. Consigliere! But just because he was an advisor didn't mean he was powerless. While my dad made the decisions, my grandpa was the only one allowed to fight him on them. Your father was capo decina that served under my dad. He wasn't especially happy about that. But parents quarreling doesn't affect their kids. Or at least that's what I thought at the time, and what you probably thought too. But there was still a chance we could be caught in the crossfire, so my dad decided to send me and my mom away. Off the island and to the north, Off the island and to the north were some more prosperous areas. He thought that by sending us there, we could live our lives clean, regardless of where we came from. There's no change in what's in your blood, though. You could have told me, too. Or were you planning on leaving without saying anything? No, it was all just decided too quickly. Why do you sound so accepting? Adults have a lot to consider? You bet they do, but you could at least let them know they're... Oh, God, let me try all of that again. Why does she sound so accepting? No, it was just all decided so quickly. Why do you sound so accepting? Adults have a lot to I'm mixing their voices. Adults have a lot to consider? You bet they do, but you could at least let them know you're opposed to it, Maria. But no, your tail went straight between your legs as soon as you were told. You just gave up and accepted it straight away. I thought you were better than that. You think? You think I don't know that? But I'll just be in my dad's way if I stay. I'm a kid, a girl. I couldn't be of any help if something happened. And I don't want to need someone to protect me. I've never once thought of you as a girl. Hey now, that's mean. Oh jeez, thanks Jacopo, now you're getting me all mushy too. If anyone should be sad here, it's me. I am not sad. Oh really? You sure you're not actually torn that I won't be around anymore? You're a huge crybaby after all, Jacopino. Hey, when have I ever cried? And don't call me that. I made you mad. Short-fused as ever, I see. You gotta learn to keep your head. You're a man and the heir to the Berzati family. Don't you lecture me. So pig-headed. You could at least listen to me this once before I'm gone. Hey, Maria, got a little time to spare? Yeah, sure, but not much. The carriage is gonna be here soon. Do you have enough for a trip to the hill and back? Yeah, I should have time for that. Because of our families, we weren't really able to get along with the other kids in the city, so we played a lot at the top of that hill. It became kind of like our little secret lair. There was an abandoned house up there, I guess an old farmhouse or something, and kids love that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah, man, that sounds fun.
We called it Casa Nostra. Casa Nostra, our home, and we pretended it was actually ours. We drew circles on the wall in chalk and used it for target practice. We brought up a bale of straw and used it to make makeshift beds. When either of us got into fights with our parents, we'd stay the night here instead of home. In retrospect, I'm sure they knew where we were going. And just let us do our thing. Oh yeah, There was this one time we were playing and a huge storm rolled in, trapping us up there. The wind wasn't just howling, it was screaming bloody murder. It was blowing so hard I thought the house might fly away. As I recall, you were crying that night.
Vibes.
Hey, Nero, you here to send me off too? Ah, there you go, wagging your tail with that dumb look on your face. You have no idea what's going on, do you? It wasn't just the two of us who had made Casa Nostra our home base, though. Casa Nostra.
That's impossible to say in not an actual Italian accent.
There was one more, a stray black dog. I'm pretty sure it didn't actually have black fur, though, and it was just really, really dirty. Of course he doesn't. He's a stupid animal. Oh, don't talk about him like that. He's one of us. What were you planning to do about Nero? Just leave him behind? Nothing else I can do. Can't bring a dog in the carriage. Besides, you're here, so it'll be fine. You take care of Nero, all right? He doesn't like me. You're the only one who can take care of him. Maybe so, but I'm not coming back. He'll starve to death if you don't figure something out. He's a puny runt. I doubt he could win in a fight for scraps. Come on, do it for me. You said you won't be coming back. Did you mean that? Are you absolutely never returning to this town? There's no telling what may or may not happen, so it's best not to get your hopes up.
Ooh.
Better than the pain of getting let down. Well, I've turned into quite the cynic, huh? Maybe if I'd been born into a more normal family, I'd be in my room with a pile of dolls right about now, my head in the clouds. I can't imagine you doing that, nor do I think that's normal. Well said. Hey, stop that, Nero! Quit licking me! That tickles, and you reek! Maria. What is it? Come back. I don't care if you don't know when it'll be, just don't say you'll never return. No one knows how things are gonna end up. Maybe my old man will gain more power, or maybe yours will. If things continue as they are, it'll be your old man. Then down the line, I will work in service of the Campanella family. And that's just fine by me. But even if that's not the future that lies ahead, I promise I will make a place for you. So Maria, question. Do you have a crush on me?
What?
Kidding, I'm just kidding. No need for a conniption fit, I was just playing around.
It's rare that I hear conniption fit.
Here I am trying to have a serious conversation, and then you... Listen to me. I don't have any of those, those kinds of feelings for you. I consider you a lifelong friend. My one and only friend. That's why I came to see you off, and that's why I'm telling you this now. Whether you're a girl or a boy is irrelevant. Friendship lasts much longer than something so fanciful as romance. Am I wrong? Don't laugh, damn it. It's humiliating. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I agree entirely. Yeah, we've always been on the same page, Jacopo. Maybe we did fight a lot, but there wasn't one we didn't get through. No one else understood just how lonely it was, wearing a mask for the other kids, trying to fit in their happy little circle. We couldn't afford to be found out after all. Neither of us had any real allies, except for each other, of course. Nope. I'm glad I got the chance to play with you. If you hadn't been there, I probably wouldn't have bothered caring for Nero either. It was too funny watching him chase you around. You're a sick girl, Maria. So hey, Jacopo, this place will be our Casa Nostra even after I leave, right? This place will be whatever. You won't do anything to it, will you?
Of course not. This is our home. That was always the plan.
Right. Thanks. No, you being all nice is kind of creepy, Jacopo. It's not gonna start snowing, is it? How rude!
Well, if you're gonna be like that, I'm not sure I want to give it to you.
Huh? Give what? A present? Oh, you should have said so sooner! Gimme!
You don't have a shred of tact, do you?
What's it matter? Come on, what did you bring? Let me have a... What's it matter? Come on, what'd you bring? Let me have it, soldier!
Oh, Maria. Consider this a temporary parting gift. You've been wanting one of these for a while.
Oh, is that a cartridge? From a Colt Navy? No way! Did you swipe it?
I'll probably catch hell for it too.
Wow! This is amazing! I always wanted to get my hands on the real thing. This is from the one hanging up in your house, isn't it? The one your dad was bragging about. They just started selling them this year, and it's ridiculously hard to get your hands on one, or so I hear. Man, guns from the New World are something else, all right. Just imagining the moment the hammer comes crashing down on the back of this sends chills down my spine.
Are you sure you're a girl going crazy over a bullet cartridge?
What's the big deal? I like what I like. You'll get in trouble if you don't put this back, though, won't you?
Don't worry, I'll return it when you return. And I won't tell anyone I gave it to you.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll take you up on that then. Thanks, Jacopo. It'll be my treasure. This goes without saying.
Oh. This goes without saying, but don't you lose it. I'm giving it to you as a symbol of our friendship. No matter how far apart we may be, or how much time may pass, or how things may play out with our families, we will always be friends. That cartridge symbolizes that promise.
It's a promise, Jacopo. Our families may outwardly hate each other, but I'll always be your friend, always be on your side.
And don't you ever go back on those words.
I swear upon this glorious cartridge, this historic land, and the names of my ancestors, I shall not make myself a liar.
I trust you, Maria. We'll meet again. It may be many years from now, but that won't change a thing. Our friendship will never fade.
Those were the hardest voices for me to do this whole time. Yet. Kid voices fucking kill me, man. Oh, God. And with accents, too, just shoot me with that cartridge.
God, you were adorable back then. And short to boot. But now you've hardened so much. I was flabbergasted when I next saw you. Dressed all fancy from head to toe, you'd become quite the smug little bastard, I'd thought. You sure weren't a little kid anymore.
You have quite the memory.
Well, yeah, I don't forget my promises. And I'd never forget I always said I'd be on your side. The question is, did you remember?
I did. I remember every word you said that day. And as I said, I left Casa Nostra as it was. Casa Nostra as it was. Though it is quite some distance away now.
I think it's so chillingly realistic how Jacopo has this sacred place from his childhood that he looks back on sentimentally, that he wishes to preserve, and would honestly probably give his life to preserve. But, you know, he's still a capitalist, so other people's special places he'll go on to trample and redevelop and whatever the fuck for his own personal gain. But that one place, just because it's special to him as an individual, and, you know, he's the best and he's earned keeping it preserved, he keeps it as such. And it's sad. You can understand his feelings towards it at the same time, and just so complex and human. I love it. Love it. Though it is quite some distance away now. I imagine if we went back and did a little work on it, we could have it looking just like old times. I guess his doing work on it would just be to make it like it was before instead of changing it into something else.
And Nero?
About a year after you left, he suddenly disappeared. And just for the record, I did take care of him, as you told me to. I'm guessing he got in a fight with another stray or something. I searched, but could never find him.
Ah, well. It has been more than a decade. Not everything's gonna be exactly the same.
You, however, haven't changed a bit from the girl you were all those years ago.
Neither have you. Sure, you seem different on the outside, but at your core, I believe you haven't changed at all. Still the same old Jacopino.
Could you not call me that? I have changed quite a bit, unlike you, and I am well aware of it.
Say, Jacopo, do you consider me supportive?
Now, another interesting thing is he sees Maria not as a woman, like he had mentioned as a child, but... So, he obviously acknowledges she's a woman, but because she was a close childhood friend to him, he views her as, like, the good one, or the one that is deserving of his full respect. Whereas women, all the other women of the world, he's free to be misogynistic to however he pleases. You know, the scene with the white-haired girl as he's pulling her hair, he's like, I can't waste all this time thinking about a woman. It's a waste of my time, my man time. A woman can't be making me feel this way, doing this to me, distressing me this much. He would allow, if Maria ended up distressing him, he would not think of it that way. He would think, this peer is distressing me, but the white-haired girl, his wife, is just a woman to him, in a bad way, in the way a misogynist sees a woman. So yeah, so many layers to this character, Jacopo. I love it. Of everything you could have said, of course you are. You're constantly supporting me, past and present. You were proof of the existence of a kind of friendship that can transcend gender, blood, and any other such distinctions. She's only proof of it because you grew up with her. No one else around you is ever going to be proof of that because you refuse to see them as such. Because it's all about your tunnel vision climb to the top, and all extraneous things, they're nothing.
You know, it's honestly kind of bizarre seeing you without a stick up your ass.
Wow, harsh words.
Come on now, hear me out. You almost had me blushing there. Anyway, before you put that stick back up there, tell me something. Am I still your only ally?
Wait, I completely blanked out on what she said. Hear me out. Oh, okay.
You almost had me blushing there.
Yeah, whatever. You are.
Of everyone in this mansion, I'm the only one?
Yes. If she would at least have a little more.
The madam?
I didn't actually intend to treat her like that.
Believe me, Jacopo, I know. I mean, from a girl's perspective, what you did is pretty awful. But hey, I'm not a girl, according to you anyway. I will. I will always be on your side, no matter what.
God, I feel as if I'm being consoled. I feel as though I'm being consoled.
That's what I was going for.
I should never open up to you. I should have never opened up to you.
Hey, now's probably not the best time to bring this up, but I have a letter.
A letter?
Written by the madam.
A letter from my wife. Let me see it. What the hell am I reading?
I was considering keeping it a secret, but haven't seen it. I thought hiding it from you might only hurt me more, so...
Let me do that again.
I was considering keeping it a secret, but haven't seen it. I thought hiding it from you might only hurt you more, so... I decided it was best to show you.
Who is this? Who is this letter for? It's as if, but that can't. I love you? Who is she writing to? I don't know this man.
Take a deep breath, Jacopo, and listen to me. The madam is having an affair.
I remember vividly my first time playing this. I hadn't caught on to this machination of hers until this conversation they were having. And then I was like, oh no, I was just getting this constant sense of dread building up the whole time. And then when that line dropped, I just held my face in my hands for like a good 5 minutes and just, was making that sound. Was rolling on the floor, was just soaking in how delicious this story is.